Good morning, Irish. I'm sitting down with Father Nate. He is the chaplain for the football team, and he wears lots of different hats. So thank you so much for being here, Father Nate.
Absolutely.
So tell us, you work for ACE and you are a priest in residence, but tell us a little bit about what you do here at Notre Dame.
Yeah, so I'm on the faculty of the REMIC Leadership Program. So I teach aspiring Catholic school principals. I only teach graduate students. So and we teach mostly in the summer when our graduate students are here, and then at a distance during the school year. And I also direct a program based on my own research, helping out K-12 Catholic schools throughout the nation.
Now you went to undergrad here at Notre Dame.
I did, yep.
Did you ever think that this would be where you were at all these years later?
100% no. I'm a first-generation college kid, so going to Notre Dame was a big stretch. My older brother came the year before me, but honestly, being here, teaching here it's sometimes I just don't even believe it.
Yeah.
So it's really great. I love it, and it's been just a ton of fun. I love the work that I do. I feel like it makes an impact on Catholic schools, and living in the dorm is super fun, and then working with the football team has been a blast too.
Well, on that topic of working with the football team, one of your traditions on the football team, one of the traditions on the football team is to give out a weekly medal. That's a saint. Can you speak a little bit about that and what that does for both you and for the team? Yeah,
this is a tradition that goes way, way back. So I have no idea when it started, but my guess, I asked some of the former chaplains, probably the 70s or something.
Oh, wow.
But maybe one of your viewers will know. I don't know.
Well, yeah, maybe somebody will fact check us.
Yeah, exactly. But they give out a different holy medal for each game. And we're on a 5-year rotation of saints, and I inherited that great rotation. And but it's been pretty cool. Every week we give a different saint for a different game.
Okay.
And I like talking a little bit about the saint just to give an idea of why their life was an example of holiness for us, a courageous example, something that we can learn from and emulate, and ultimately that there's so many paths to God that I think the saints really invite us to think about the different ways in which we can come to know, love, and serve the Lord.
Yeah.
And I've been having fun too. Since I've been doing this, I've been putting a picture and a little story about the saint on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'll have one of the players on the sidelines hold the holy medal, and that's kind of the first picture, and then I'll zoom out and show who it is holding it on the second picture. So
that's fun.
Yeah.
So that'll be something that you'll continue this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Pray like a champion today.
All right. Well, so new traditions are happening around Notre Dame, and especially around game day. Mm-hmm. I guess we could say that, some old traditions are returning because Gameday Mass is returning.
That's right.
You said that you were really excited for this to come back on Instagram. I did look at your Instagram. How has it been to work with this new leadership in the Freeman era to return to Gameday Mass? How has that been?
Yeah, I mean, I have just had an overwhelmingly positive experience of working with basically everybody in football. And Coach Kelly's administration and in Coach Freeman's. I mean, I think Coach Freeman in particular has really emphasized the importance of Gameday Mass, of praying together, of kind of that he emphasizes unit strength.
Yeah.
And I think he sees as part of that the unit strength that we have, not just in football, but also in our spiritual lives when we can connect in that way.
Yeah.
So, and another one of his themes is to challenge everything. And I think one of those challenges has really been to say, well, why do we do this the day before? Why don't we, march together from the Basilica back to the stadium?
Well, on that note, I actually want to read you something that former Notre Dame wide receiver Robbie Tama wrote on Twitter.
Okay.
When the news broke, and he actually said that it was one of the better moves to get rid of it. It's a pretty hard to turn the game switch on after an hour Mass. We still did Mass Friday night, and we still did the walk. Is athletic ability, is the turning of the switch, is that something that the team's thinking about, or is it not part of the equation?
You'd have to ask the guys. I mean, you'd have to ask them in terms of what that means to them, how they're able to do that. I'd say simply, I asked Coach Freeman directly when he first asked me to do this.
Okay.
I said, do I need to change the way I do Mass or anything? He's like, no, keep doing everything exactly the same, which is great. So I don't think there's any, I don't have to rah-rah, get them pumped up or anything like that.
The homily's not going to be too...
No, thanks be to God. That I'm going to stay in my lane on that one. But, you know, I think there's a lot of time after Mass ends and before they step on the field. There's a lot of space there to focus mentally, to get yourself into that space. I think there's all kinds of opportunities to psych yourself up. I mean, they come back, they change, they shake out, they, you know, walk around and do a bunch of things. Then they put their pads on and do that. So there's a lot of space and time to make that mental shift.
Okay.
But I think you might want to ask the players and coaches to see, you know, do they notice a difference?
Do they notice a difference? We'll have to continue that here at NDTV. You know, with this Gameday Mass returning and with the new, you know, victory march as they're branding and coming to campus, that team will walk right out those doors that say God Country Notre Dame, and then they'll walk to the stadium. And will you be presiding that Mass? What will that look like, or do we know yet?
I'll preside at Mass before the game. We just did a walkthrough the other day to kind of get all the logistics down, and that was great. So yeah, and I'll walk with the team. I'm usually at the back with some of the staff, support staff, and things like that. But yeah, it'll be pretty great.
Okay. Well, let's shift to this season. I mean, we've been talking about Gameday Mass, but with this upcoming football season, you've been on the sidelines. You've stood on the sidelines for so many games. You stood on the sidelines through COVID and through this past season and you're going to be there this season. What's the energy like on the team right now? How are they feeling heading into the first game?
Yeah, I mean, the energy is incredible. I've just been so excited to go to some of the practices and to see how fired up the guys are. I think there's a lot of energy among fans about Coach Freeman, about his staff.
Yeah.
And I think about really the seniors this year are an incredible group of guys. I mean, I think there's so many. And to start out playing Ohio State in a really big venue, it's what we do at Notre Dame. We're not going to shy away from, you know, really big games and going, you know, right into a tough worthy opponent. So
sure.
I think it's great. It's energy like I've never seen before, and I'm really excited about it.
So on this topic of, you know, Ohio State is going to be a tough game. It's not something that we're shying away from, as you said. It's not something we do here at Notre Dame. But throughout those tough games that you've stood on the sidelines for, what are you usually doing? Are you praying? Are you just helping out? What are you doing?
Staying out of the way, usually. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you looked close at some of the games, you know, that have gotten pretty close, I stop, you know, chatting to the guys, and I'm just like working the rosary beads. And you know, look, I don't pretend to think that the prayers that I pray are efficacious in terms of the outcome of the game. I'm much more likely to think of like the little old ladies sitting at home who are praying for Notre Dame. They probably have an effect, but I doubt it's me. But at the same time, you know, on the football team, everybody has their role. Like people just do kind of one thing.
Right.
And my role is to be a spiritual support to the guys. And what the heck, my role is to pray, you know, for them, with them. And, you know, if the game's getting close, throw a couple of Hail Marys. Why not?
This is, now which season is this for you? Is this your fifth season?
This is my fifth season.
Fifth season,
yeah.
Okay. So fifth season, you were asked to do this by Father Pete, who's obviously the chaplain for the basketball team. Did he give you any tips when you were coming in? Were you nervous about coming in? Were you okay with it?
Yeah, Father Mark Thiesing was the chaplain, and we overlapped for a couple years, and he was super helpful to me in terms of, you know, telling me where to go, what to do, how they've done it. And I mean, you know, when you step into a role like this, it's really the heart of Notre Dame tradition, right? And you don't want to say like, oh, I'll just do it my way, right? Like, no, you step into the tradition and the way that this has been done.
Yeah.
And so I think I wanted to just honor those traditions. I wanted to build on that, obviously, and kind of do my own thing. But at the same time, I think he was really helpful for me. And I often will ask other chaplains, not just Father Pete, who does basketball, but Stacy Nome, who is the fencing chaplain, or, you know, Bree Tornafolio, who does the women's basketball. These are people who are just really great fonts of knowledge and insight, and I think they have a lot of really good things, ways of teaching each other.
Okay. Well, Thank you so much for being here, Father
Yeah,
Nate.
absolutely.
We are as excited as the football season as I'm sure you are. We can catch all of it in the upcoming weeks, but you can catch all of Father Nate's posts and all of the Saint medals on @PrayLikeAChampion today on Instagram. That's a pretty good username. Did you come up with that?
Thanks. Yeah, and I've had it for a while.
Yeah.
I think I actually had it before I was the chaplain of the football team, but I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Hey, it works pretty well.
Yeah.
It works pretty well.
Who can remember things pre-COVID? Anyway?
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Father Pete.
Thanks.
Or Father, excuse me, Father Nate. We were talking about Father Pete, and I got confused.
No problem, Sam.
Thank you so much
I
for
should
being
be
here.
so lucky. All right. God
Thank
bless
you so much.
Thanks.
Well, for Notre Dame Television, I'm Sam Coffman. Now let's go back to the desk.